Welcome back to my channel. I am Lumber Snack, and we're continuing on with part 4 of our looking at the Chaldean oracles. And my last several videos have been very long. I go on tangents. I'm a believer that whatever I say was meant to be said. So there's that. But I'm going to try to keep it succinct and just read from the passages this time. Maybe a little bit of, my own thoughts, but it's mostly just trying. Gosh. Anyhow, we're just going to continue with part 4. If you haven't watched my other parts, go watch them. Otherwise, you will be lost. But even if you watch them, you'll still probably be lost. The 7 firmaments, the heavens, the heavenly bodies, ether, air, earth, and water. If you don't know what ether is, I think that's what everyone thought the planets were made out of. Back before we recognized that they were real, whatever they are. But anyhow, the most celebrated the Babylonians, together with Ostanes and Zoroaster, very properly call the starry spheres herds, whether because these among corporal magnitudes are perfectly carried about a center, or in conformity to the oracles, because they are considered by them as in a certain respect the bonds and collectors of physical reasons, which they likewise call in their sacred discourses herds. And by the insertion of a gamma, angels, hence in a similar manner they denominate the stars and demons which rule over each of these herds or starry spheres, angels and archangels, and these are 7 in number. I think that starry spheres and herds, is that just not constellations? I might actually be wrong on that one. The rest of these get a lot more convoluted than before, if I'm being honest. The Father gave bulk to the 7 firmaments of the worlds and enclosed the heavens in a convex figure. Convex. Again, I think that's talking about Uranus. Genesis 1:14, if he turned it on the side. Because, that would create a convex figure as well, because it's convexed, right? I get convex and concave confused. He established the numerous multitude of inerratic stars, not by a laborious and evil tension, but with a stability void of a wandering motion, for this purpose compelling fire to fire. He made the planets 6 in number, and for the 7th he hurled into the midst the fire of the sun. He suspended the disordered motion of the planets in orderly disposed zones, the ethereal course and the immense impetus of the moon and the aerial streams. O ether, sun, spirit of the moon, and ye leaders of the air. Yeah, so basically you kind of have to understand Tycho's model of astronomy, which was that both the sun and the earth were fixed points, Gosh, the sun and the moon orbited around the earth. However, everything else in the solar system orbited around the sun, and this is because the earth is too heavy to move in space. Obviously, we've moved past that, but the reason that the other planets didn't follow that behavior is because they were made of something called ether, which is plasmatic stuff. I don't know. Of the solar circles, the lunar rattlings, and the aerial bosoms, the portion of ether, of the suns, of the rivers, of the moon, and of the air, the broad air, the lunar course, and the pole of the sun. The sun is a fire, which is the channel of fire, and it is the dispensator of fire. Could be electromagnetism, could be gravity, could be that MGE that I keep talking about, probably that. He constituted the heptad of wandering animals, placing earth in the middle, but water in the bosoms of the earth, and air above these. The oracles assert that the impressions of characters and of other divine visions appear in ether. Maybe ether is dark matter. I don't know. The most mystic of discourses inform us that the wholeness of the sun is in the supramundane order, for there are a solar world and a total light subsist, as the oracles of the Chaldeans affirm. The more true sun measures all things together, with time being truly a time of time, according to the oracle of the gods respecting it. The orb of the sun revolves in the starless, much above the ineratic sphere. Hence, he is not the middle of the planets, but of the three worlds, according to the telestic hypotheses. I'm lost. The middle of the five mundane centers, and another fifth middle fiery center where a life-bearing fire descends as far as the material channels, the summit of the earth. The ethers of the elements, agreeably to the oracles, are there. Matter. We learn that matter pervades through the whole world, as the gods also assert. Oh yeah, that's... Everything is made of matter. Matter cannot be destroyed or lost. It just simply exists and can never be destroyed, I guess, which is kind of hard to grasp, if I'm being honest. If you burn a piece of paper, it feels like the matter should be gone, but apparently not. And that's what science says too. Evil. Evil, according to the oracle, is more debile than non-entity. I don't know what debile means. The aquatic gods, daemons, nymphs, etc. The aquatic, when applied to divine nature, signifies a government inseparable from water, and hence the oracle calls the aquatic gods water walkers. Moisture is a symbol of life, and hence both Plato and prior to Plato, the gods call the soul at one time a drop from the whole of vivification, and at another time a certain fountain of it. You really want to hear someone go on and on and on about the life-giving properties of water? Go and watch Dr. Strangelove, How I Learned to Stop... It's like Dr. Strangelove, How I Learned to Stop Hating the War and Love the Bomb, or something like that. It's such a good movie. There are certain aquatic demons, called by Orpheus Nereids, in the more elevated exaltations of water, such as reside in this cloudy air, whose bodies, according to Zoroaster, are sometimes seen by more acute eyes, especially in Persia and Africa. I don't know, it might be some type of jinn thing, because I know jinns are pretty big with the Arabs, which, Persians are kind of Arab, at least Iran, right? I mean, I don't think all Arabs are Persian by default, but they're a major Persian race. Fontal nymphs, all aquatic spirits, and monthly terrestrial, aerial, and splendid bosoms who ride on all matter, viz. The celestial and starry primogenial matter, and that which belongs to the abysses. Typhon, Echidna, and Python. Typhon, Echidna, and Python, being the progeny of Tartarus and Earth, which is conjoined with heaven, form as it were a certain Chaldaic triad, which is the inspective guardian of the whole of a disordered fabrication. I would have to do more research on Typhon, Echidna, and Python. Because I know Echidna is Knuckles, and Python is a programming language, but Typhon, I don't know. That sounds Greek. Irrational daemons. Irrational daemons derive their substance from the aerial rulers, and hence the oracle says, being the charioteer of the aerial, terrestrial, and aquatic dogs. Terrestrial daemons. The wild beast, terrestrial daemons, of the earth shall inhabit thy vessel, the soul which is replete with irrational affections. Nature persuades us that there are holy daemons, and that the blossoms of depraved matter, i.e. evil daemons, are useful and good. From the bosom, therefore, of the earth terrestrial dogs, material daemons leap forth, who never exhibit a true sign to mortal man. It is not proper that you should behold them till your body is purified by initiation, for these daemons, alluring souls, always draw them away from mystic ceremonies. When you behold the terrestrial daemon approaching, full of deceit and remote from divine knowledge, vociferate and sacrifice the stone, Minizerum, which has the power of causing another greater daemon to appear, who, approaching invisible to the material daemon, will give a true answer to the proposed question. Just a general rule of thumb in this world that we're living in, this existence, this reality. I just stay away from demons, right? Like that's kind of it, you know. That's why I'm so baffled by the Star of Remfrem as like a holy signal, because that's like what Solomon used to like bind demons onto the decads of the horoscopic wheel. Divine names. There is a venerable name with a sleepless revolution leaping into the worlds through the rapid reproofs of the Father. You should never change barbarous names. So if you have an ugly name, keep it. If my name was ugly, I wouldn't change it. There are names of divine origin in every nation, which possess ineffable power in mystic ceremonies. The center. The center is that from which and to which the lines, as far as they may happen to extend, are equal. The center, man. It's the center. It's the middle. It's the center. It's just the center. I don't need to explain the center. It's like you got a point and there's a line and it's equal on both sides. You're at the center. That's what it says. Divine natures and the manner in which they appear to mankind. All divine natures are incorporeal, but bodies are bound in them for your sake. Bodies not being able to contain incorporeals through the corporeal nature in which you are concentrated, a similar fire extending itself by leaps through the waves of the air, or an unfigured fire whence a voice runs before, or a light beheld near, every way splendid, resounding and convolved, but also to behold a horse full of refulgent light, or a boy carried on the swift back of a horse, a boy fiery, or clothed with gold, or on the contrary, naked or shooting an arrow, and standing on the back of a horse. The gods exhort us to understand the forerunning form of light. The axiom then must be first assumed: every god is good, and the oracles witness the truth of the axiom. When accusing the impiety of men, they say, not knowing that every god is good, ye are fruitlessly vigilant. I left that part as its own part because it's kind of convoluted and confusing. It just starts talking about like Daemons, and I imagine like if you go and you read the actual like full thing, you know, it'll be it. And I have. It's just been a while since I read the entire thing. Got one more part, and the next part will be more cohesive. Thanks for watching.